Hey, what's up, traders? Thanks for watching my channel. I hope you get tons of value from my content, and we are running a contest every month to pick a winner for free full access to my academy, my trading group, my signal group, and a free phone call with me to figure out how I can help you in your own trading. So like, comment, and subscribe on as many videos as you can this month, and we'll pick a winner from the people that do randomly, and hopefully it'll be you, and hopefully I see you in my VIP group one day. So thanks for your support. Let's crush the markets. Peace. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Sunday. This is our weekly outlook video. I shared a bunch of charts in our VIP group. I'm pulling them up here on my phone. I sent them out there not too long ago, and so let's pull them up. And the big news over the weekend, obviously, you know, COVID-19 or whatever you want to call it aside, Kim Jong Un, North Korean dictator, supposedly dead or in a vegetative state, one of the two. And that is huge. So more than anything, I think it's going to be the big factor in the markets. And I sent out a lot of yen charts. Somebody in the group was asking about why I thought EURJPY was going to drop lower. So we'll get into that. We will get into, I sent out some Canadian charts because I think we'll have potentially some moves on oil this week, or some continuation of CAD strength. And then also sent out some charts on the dollar. We're at some interesting junctures. Still pretty unclear about the dollar at the moment. I think, the big thing to focus on is going to be yen and where we go from here. So that being said, let me pull up the charts here. Let me share my screen. Here we go, start broadcast, starting broadcast now. So let's take a look at the yen chart, since that's how I started this video. And this is one of the biggest things I think we got going on this week. And this is euro yen, and we were trading this little area a couple times last week. We bought down here from this little wick right next to the last fractal we have here on the daily chart, and now you can see we dropped down here, and potentially I was thinking that this was going to be a false breakdown. But now that we got this news about Kim Jong Un here, this is what we're looking at on the 4-hour chart. I think the potential that we gap lower here is going to be very, very big. And so that would solidify this breakdown. And so if that happens, where are we going to go? I mean, man, this whole area in here is a bit of a no man's land for sure. And so the next really significant area of support would be coming in around 112. And, we're at 116 right now. So this could be quite the sell-off in euro yen if this does prove to, happen. So I'm definitely going to be watching the gap on EJ when we get started, and to see it, if we gap lower below this 115.80 level. I'm going to go ahead and put a below this 115.80 level, then I'd say it's all systems go. I'm going to be looking for a rally to get in there and sell for EJ. I think that's going to be a great looking setup. Same deal here on UJ. So the question is, and hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't gap, but Kim Jong Un dying is a pretty big revelation. And I'll just be honest, it's not good that he's dead, but it's refreshing news outside of this whole coronavirus deal. So we can talk about something different about the markets right now. So if we gap below this box right here, which would come in at 107, and the seeing that we might gap 50 pips seems pretty probable to me. So yeah, so then the next big support, then we'd be trapped in this zone right here. And I'd say this would be pretty significant revelation if this were to happen. So, you know, the yen pairs, I'm going to be watching very, very closely. And, you know, this looked pretty bearish to begin with anyways, because we're trading below this line. Now, if for some reason we, and hey, it's a possibility, anything can happen in these markets. If we were to gap up above this line, then I would say it's all systems go for us to make a move back to 110. But for right now, depending on what happens here, this seems a lot more likely. So going to be watching these yen pairs super close. Here we go. That's EJ and Aussie yen. So the reason I sent Australian yen to the Australian dollar, Japanese yen to the group is that, you know, Aussie dollar is like the epitome of the risk on currency. So if we get some major risk off here, then a rejection and some serious downside down to the 64 level could be very possible. And not to mention that we are coming up to this big resistance area up here. So, you know, that's gonna be quite the obstacle for us to go higher. So this is another little area zone we could watch as well. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how we react with the initial gaps. And then if we get some follow through, it's the next question, what I'm going to be watching for. Let's take a look at the oil pairs and specifically Australian dollar CAD. So I was all over this last week, you know, this big kind of divergence going on right here. And this channel we've been trading in, and it looks like we're trying to break out there. So to the group, I sent a question mark about this move because I'm a little skeptical. So say we get this risk off, Aussie gets super weak here. I think we could have quite the false breakout on our hands. And if we break back down inside here, I think we could be in for some serious downside on Aussie Canadian dollar. And hey, this would make sense, 23.6 with this moving average here. So we'll see where we open. I think this really echoes, you know, I talk about this all the time, how we want to put the picture together and look all across the board at the different pairs that we have going on here. And I think that this, just to get a better view of what's going on here, this looks pretty bearish, and this looks like it was potentially a false breakout here. So we have this high, we broke back above and then broke back down, and we got in on this trade on, I guess it was Friday, 100 pips from here, from this fractal to this fractal, and now we're retesting this line, and I had this arrow. This was from the previous last week's weekly charting, and so here we are. And I'm really looking for this this zone right there, and for us to fill this gap. So if we break back below this trend line, dollar CAD is going to be an excellent shorting opportunity, and that's, of course, that's going to come with some more oil strength. But you know, the other side of that is, I'm sure North Korea had some sort of stake in oil, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Let's take a look at dollar pairs, Euro USD. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on here, but I do know that, you know, we're below. If we just get back to the basics of a trend line break and move lower afterwards, that would appear to be what we got going on here. Let's see from this high down what that looks like. That's pretty interesting if we were to play it that way. And if that's the case, then man, this is hopefully if you've been through my training, all the students and VIP members at home are saying, oh, dude, that's a X marks the spot here. So looking pretty good. Let's take a look at, and so this would make sense, especially if we get that sell-off in euro yen. That's going to really weaken euro across the board. In euro USD, I think I would expect it to follow suit. So here we are on Aussie dollar. I already talked about the potential for Australian dollar to, lose strength here, especially if we get some risk off at the start of the markets, which would, hey, make sense because we were approaching the 61.8. We have this this zone right here we're coming up to. So maybe we retest it, or maybe we just start seeing some downside here. Looks super similar on NZD USD. So we're coming up to this little confluence here. You see we have a moving average coming into play, and confluence of resistance, which would make another X marks the spot opportunity for Kiwi dollar. So definitely one to watch. And hey, we're at 61.8% retracement. So maybe if you wanted to play this with a pending order at 60.40, it could be an awesome trade. And let's take a look at, this is a little more unclear at cable here. And for some reason, despite, the strength with the dollar across the board, I'm watching for us to break above this level of fractals, which would signal more upside. So the other side of that is if we do break down, maybe we get some a sell-off in the stock market too, because of the uncertainty around Kim Jong Un's death and who's going to take his place. Of course, Trump made some pretty big, decent progress with Kim Jong Un. It seems like, they were at least on the same page. So, this happening could really would be the catalyst to be like, okay, all those negotiations are kind of out the window now. So we got to start back at square one with the stock market moving lower and with some potential risk off, risk on. So that's what I'm looking at for the week. Going to be watching yen very, very closely. Going to be watching euro. I'm really going to be watching the Canadian dollar as well as gold and silver. If you want to watch a gold and silver analysis, check out the gold video I posted yesterday. And if you'd like to be a part of our group, and if you made it this far in the video, first of all, thanks for watching. I appreciate the support. And secondly, we'd love to have you in the group. We're running an amazing opportunity to join at pretty much the cheapest price you will find for all this content anywhere out there. And to have a mentor that is super active in the group and mentoring people. I'm in there in the trenches every day trading with you all. So if you're interested in that, click the links below to get started. Please give us a like, subscribe, comment, and let's crush it this week. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you in the VIP chat. Peace.